Hi, everyone. As you come in, feel free to go in the chat and introduce yourself. Let us know your name, where you're located, and maybe what courses or classes that you're currently teaching or looking forward to teaching soon. Go ahead and add those in the chat, and we'll get started here in just a moment. Hey there, good afternoon to you as well. Hi, everyone. As you're coming into the room here, please go ahead and introduce yourself. You can use the chat to type in your name, maybe where you're from, what courses are you currently teaching or you're looking forward to teaching sometime soon. So we'd like to hear all of that, and we'll get started here in just a second. All right. Well, go ahead and continue putting in your introductions as you're joining us here in the room. Feel free to add your name, where you're located, what courses you're currently teaching, where you're from, and maybe what courses you're looking at teaching in the future as we go through the course today. And as we're looking at the Illinois course, also, at the end, we'll have some time for questions and answers. So kind of keep track of those, or you can also put those in the chat. And I'm also joined by one of our professional development team members, Lori, and she will be helping us out as well in the chat area. So she might have some time to answer some questions in the chat too, while I'm busy working at the slides here and going through our Illinois Introduction to Computer Science course. So my name is Matt Arnold, and I'm one of the CodeHS curriculum developers. And the Illinois Introduction to Computer Science course is a really great addition to our CodeHS curriculum, and it aligns nicely with the Illinois standards. So let's take a look at what we'll cover today. We're going to start with an overview of the course, who's it for, what it covers, and some important information to keep in mind when you're bringing this course to your students. Then we'll take a look at exactly where you can access all needed materials for this course. And then at the end of the webinar, we'll have a question and answer time, like I mentioned before. So don't worry, all of your questions will be answered by the end of this event. So let's go ahead and get started and take a look at the course overview. And we're going to take a quick look at that overview for the Illinois Introduction to Computer Science course. This is designed as a one-year, two-semester high school course. That's what it's designed for. Of course, you can customize the course. You can move some modules or units around. You have flexibility there to do some different things with the course, but it's designed for a full one-year high school course. There are two main focuses of this course. The first, students learn the basics of programming with Carol and the JavaScript coding language. So that's sort of one bucket of the course. And the second bucket of the course, students learn about digital citizenship, computer science careers, and cybersecurity concepts. So we'll dive into both of those areas, and I'll kind of break the course down a little bit more for you, and you can see where that applies. The Illinois Introduction to Computer Science course teaches the foundations of computer science, cybersecurity, and basic programming, with an emphasis on helping students develop logical thinking and problem-solving skills. All of the programming in this course will be done in JavaScript. As an introductory computer science course, there are no prerequisites, and it begins with learning code basics in our Programming with Carol module. The course is broken down into 15 modules. That's a lot of exercises and content, but every teacher, like I said, has the flexibility to remove items that they may have already addressed in a class, or you can even add challenge exercises from the supplemental modules that are provided in this course as well. So you have a lot of flexibility there to move things around, but there are 15 total modules or units within this course. The first module introduces students to Carol the dog. Students learn the basics of coding and program structures by giving Carol commands in a grid-based world. Students learn the basics of JavaScript, including variables, user input, mathematics, and functions. They learn all of those in our second module after they've learned the basics of programming with Carol. Building on their JavaScript knowledge, students begin working within a Canvas element. Canvas is sort of just an area on a page where you can use graphics. And within that module, students learn how to add graphics, objects, and all other kinds of elements and position them within that Canvas element. Creating graphics on a canvas, students then learn how to use control structures, such as if-else statements and loops, to make more advanced programs within JavaScript. Breaking down their programs to create more manageable and efficient code, students then learn to write reusable code with functions, parameters, and return values. They also explore the impact of variable scopes, so like global scopes and local scopes within variables and how that impacts their program. So all of those are addressed in those two control structures and the functions units together there. In this extension of the previous modules, students then learn how to make objects move around the screen and let users interact using the keyboard and mouse as input devices. This is one of my favorite modules in the course. It's the animations and games module, and students will start to learn how to manipulate what I call sprites or images using JavaScript. And so they start using those control structures and applying them to that canvas that they learned about earlier, where they can add graphics to it. Finally, to wrap up that core programming section or bucket of the course, students then apply their coding skills that they've learned so far to create an original program for their culminating project. That's at the very end of that programming bucket or section that I talked about earlier. Sort of just taking everything that they've learned, putting that together to build something that they create on their own using JavaScript. And they can use graphics or control structures in any different ways that they want to build their own program. So in that next section, or before we get into that cybersecurity area, but kind of combining the two sections, we have this module around computer science careers. And this is where students take some time to explore and discover different computer science careers and opportunities that are out there. They'll learn more about resumes and developing one of their own that they could possibly use in the future. Students also will research about professional student organizations and the benefits that they offer to their members. So any types of organizations in the state, they can research those and then see how they might benefit their career opportunities in the future and become a part of that. In the next two modules, then, learners explore using computational tools to store massive amounts of data. They manipulate and visualize data, find patterns in data, and then they pull and draw conclusions from that data. If you choose to incorporate the second module, then they'll have the opportunity to apply data concepts into a project where students can explore their own data application. So that second unit there is more of an open-ended type project that wraps all of that data from the previous unit together into a project that students can own, and they can take a look at some data that's more important or specific to them. It gives them that opportunity there. So now we move into that second section, that cybersecurity piece. after we've tied those together with the careers and data pieces. The last few really focus in on that cybersecurity area. The first one, the first module being what is cybersecurity? Continuing with more of the cybersecurity and networking section in the course, students explore the basics of cybersecurity. They learn about why it's important, some recent threats to cybersecurity, and also different careers in this specific field, in the field of cybersecurity itself. The next module or unit, digital citizenship and cyber hygiene, really focuses on internet etiquette and how to stay safe on the World Wide Web. Students also look at the potential effects of our digital footprints, how to protect information from online risks, and the implications of cyberbullying. Finally, the module includes how to find and cite quality resources online. So giving credit to others for their code or works and things like that, that wraps up that piece of the digital citizenship and cyber hygiene. They also take a deep look at social media as well in that unit. In the system administration module, students will compare and contrast common operating systems, including Windows, Linux, Mac OS, and explain the importance of application security. They'll investigate security options and implement user accounts to enforce authentication and authorization. Students will also demonstrate how to work with basic and advanced command prompts in that unit as well. The software security module then shows students what happens when running a web application and how to look inside web apps using developer tools, source code, and additional tools on top of that. They'll learn about careers in software security, some basic SQL or SQL, and common attacks like SQLi or SQLi. Students will also learn to recommend how to recommend solutions for flawed security systems, and they'll also develop sort of a plan on how they would mitigate cybersecurity issues and possible solutions that they would offer in those situations. This final module then, the networking fundamentals, explores the structure and design of the internet and networks. It also looks at how this design affects the reliability of network communication, the security of data, and personal privacy. Students learn about transferring data, the binary number system, and how the internet connects computers all over the world by use of networking protocols. So these protocols are very important to understanding how everything's connected and how communication and data is transferred from different devices on the network. And that then leads them into further cybersecurity courses that they might want to take later on down the road. So you can view the course syllabus by going to the website that's on the screen there, codehs.com syllabus, and 19648 is the course code there after it, or directly from the Illinois Introduction to Computer Science overview page. We have a link to the syllabus from that overview page as well. And the overview page website address is also listed there. It's codehs.com course Illinois Intro CS/overview. So that's the address for that as well. These items note much of the information that's being shared with you here today. So they're a great resource to get you started with the course and also to go back and refresh yourself with anything that we talked about or went over in today's webinar. Those links are also in the chat as well. So thank you, Lori, for adding those. And you can just click on them within the chat there, and it'll take you to the overview page or directly to that syllabus as you would like to go back and refresh yourself on some of those materials. So all of those are listed there, and additional content you can find in those areas as well. When this course is available for students, it's available right now. It's already out. It was released on January 26th of this year, so feel free to jump in and take a look at the course, assign it, get it set up, create your own sections, and use it now. It's available for everyone. So yeah, that's the entire Illinois Introduction to Computer Science course overview there. Taking a look at everything that's in the course, all of the modules and the units. Let me know if you have any questions. You can post those in the webinar chat, and we'll try to address those as they come in.
Looks like we have no questions so far, Matt.
Okay. If you do have additional questions later on, please feel free to reach out to us at CodeHS, and we'll be able to address those questions that you might have after the webinar. That's not a problem at all. This is the last bit of our webinar for today, just some upcoming webinars that are coming down the line that you might be interested in as well. Lori, do you have anything you want to add to this one as well, to these upcoming webinars?
Thanks, Matt. We have a ton of other webinars that are going to be launching soon, webinars and workshops. You can see and register both of these for both of these webinars that are happening this week. We have Tracy and Espanol tomorrow, and we have Intro to CS and C++ on Thursday. We have a ton more course launch webinars coming up starting the second week in May. And you'll definitely want to keep an eye out on codehs.com/freepd, because we are also launching our summer webinar series in about the next week. I think that should be coming out later this week. And we are going to have a huge array of different topics, and most of those will be led by teacher trainers. So definitely you'll want to keep an eye on that page. I'm going to go ahead and drop that in chat, and watch for all of those webinars and workshops to be coming soon.
Fantastic. I do see one question came in here. How has the pacing been determined? And I'm assuming you mean for the Illinois course. And the pacing was determined by taking a look at mostly the standards that are in that are determined by the state of Illinois for grades 9 through 10, I think is how they section those off. They have like a section of standards for grades 9 through 10, and then there's another section for 11 and 12. So taking a look at what was in the 9 through 10 grade levels, and then breaking that down into what was currently in our Intro to CS and JavaScript, and then also within our cybersecurity course, because there were a lot of things within our cybersecurity course that we have that we offer that some teachers were pulling in and using those alongside our Intro to CS course, and found that that was a really good tie-in with what was in the standards. So we went through and took a look at both of those elements, and were able to put together this course, hoping that that will address most of those standards in that area. And I see Lori's put a link in there to those standards as well. But that was really what determined a lot of the pacing to that. And again, you have the flexibility of changing that pacing around if you need to. I know there's a lot in that course. 15 modules is quite a bit. Some of the modules are a little shorter than others, like the career module is a little bit shorter, so that may take you less time. Maybe you want to move that to the end of the course, take a look at all the careers together at the end of the course instead of in the middle of the course. It's kind of in the middle right now, just because I thought that would be a good break between the two different chunks of content that you have in the course, just to kind of break things up a bit. But you have the flexibility to put in that module wherever you'd like in the course that best meets your needs. And that also goes as well for the supplemental modules as well. There are some of those that are listed there that you can use for additional refreshers or reviews for students. You can add those into the course as you like. Or you can remove some things from the course if you've already gone over it in class, or the students have maybe taken another course prior to that, or if even from middle school. We have a lot of really good middle school modules and even some newer ones that are coming out now pretty soon. And some of those middle school modules, if students coming into your 9th grade, 10th grade class have some of those skills from previous classes that they may have taken in middle school, you could remove some of those modules that, skills and things like that, concepts that that they may already have. You could have the flexibility of taking those out of the course. So it's kind of up to you how you want to determine that pacing based on everybody's needs are a little different. But also we tried to just make it a good packaged course for you so that you have that flexibility to easily take things in and out. But everything that's in there does address everything that's in the standards. So you are good to go if you just go ahead and teach it straight from that course. So, yeah, great question. Great question.
Any other questions? This is a great time to ask if anything's on your mind. And definitely take a look at the state page that I dropped into chat. That's going to be a great place to go to check out that standards framework and actually view that alignment. Our curriculum team puts in a lot of time to make sure that all of the standards are aligned, and it's an awesome tool. So definitely take a look at that. All right, Matt, I'm not seeing any other questions right now.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining today. I really appreciate it. Again, if you have any additional questions after the webinar, feel free to reach us out at help@codehs.com. That's a really good email address that you can just send any questions to that you might have about this course. Thank you very much for joining us today.